seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. You may now select your heroes.
Mirana.
Elder Titan.
Mars!
Tiny.
Slada. Storm Spirit.
Riki. Bounty Hunter.
Morphling. Elder Titan.
10 seconds remaining.
Imba Spirit.
5 seconds remaining.
Huzzah!
Prepare for battle.
It's going to be a good one. MG Trust up against Among Us once more. And, you know, one thing that we don't really talk about here is how friendly these teams are. You know, we saw them play in BTS Pro Series Season 3 against each other. We've seen them play against each other here in the Monster NG Summer 13, and they're pretty darn close. They used to be all part of the same guild, the MY Gang. My Pro Dota 10, shout out to him, who I was checking his Facebook on and off topic. I was checking My Pro's page, and he seems to be insinuating EG.MyProDota10. I asked Abed about it. The only response I got was a Lamau from Jackie, so I think I got something out of it anyway. Got Jackie from Lamau, I'm all set.
You definitely did, John. Of course, big shout out and happy birthday to My Pro Dota 10. It's
30
his
seconds
birthday
to
every day.
battle.
We've got to give him a shout out, and of course, big shout out to our tiny Zephyr, who's just putting stickers in the mid lane right now, apparently. Haven't seen that one before, the worm through the apple, but there you go. A very nice one.
Definitely a very friendly looking one. Doesn't look that intimidating. I think Zephyr, if you want to send a message to meows and the stickers aren't quite cutting it, you kind of want to assert some dominance there.
Zephyr's ready for
The
a cat
battle
fight, John.
begins.
That's for sure. It's like the top bounty runes will be left by MG Trust. They'll take the bottom, and of course, Among Us will take the top bounties. So a 2-for-2 trade, very even start. Now, John, you would have seen me in the Twitch chat earlier on, but I really want a 5-game grand final. I want it to be as close as possible. And judging by the upper bracket final we watched yesterday, which went to 3 games and which was extremely close, it looks like we're in for a pretty exciting matchup.
Right, it really should be. I mean, even from the matchups we have in lane here, like you look down mid, Fearless versus Abed, Storm versus Ember, a really close matchup. This one's going to be down to mechanics, down to how far you push each hero, and also down to power room control. So we'll see which team does prioritize that. Both sides, both mids really do enjoy that here, and should be a smooth start, but again, once you start to rack up those levels, you're going to have some opportunities for outplays here.
Yeah, if anyone from Valve's watching, by the way, next Battle Pass, please make the Spirit Arcanas in the Battle Pass. That would be very nice. The only way I'm going to get an Earth Spirit Arcana, John, so I've got to put him in with the Ember and the Storm. Of course, top lane, we're looking at Cuckoo. He's there with Zephyr. They are up against Jackie and Boombill. This is going to be a bit of a tough one, I think, for Among Us to slow down. Of course, while we were watching the draft, John, we were pointing out that Jackie probably was going to go down the Ricky route for that pos one. And it does work very nicely up against the Auto Titan and the Mars. Very easy to juke out all the spells they do throw out with the tricks of the trade. And while Jackie and Zephyr won't get too aggressive here up against the side of Among Us, I do believe they won't be able to slow down the farm of the Ricky.
No, they definitely can't. Like, Boombell's doing a fantastic job of just zoning here. He's not too scared of getting comboed up, and even if he does, the farm for Jackie makes it all worthwhile. So you're still in a pretty good spot. Jackie is going pretty much tied up there with Mars, and this is important because once you hit that level 3 spike on Mars Tiny, there's a lot of potential for Zephyr to toss and set up for those spears, so you got to get what you can while you can here for Jackie.
Plus the last lane as well, on the bot lane, In Your Dream and March, going to be up against, or rather, Masteros and Q, and in fact, March is going to be in a spot of danger here. Does get stunned up into an arrow, and that is one thing he's going to have to be very cautious of, as they are probably going to try and catch out that bounty hunter with that arrow every chance they can get. That is going to be the significantly easier kill to go for. Now, March just going to have to be careful, and of course we did see him playing this in their previous series, the March bounty. He was quite influential on that hero. On the bounty hunter, you definitely want to try and reach that level 6 mark ASAP, right? So you can get the track up and you can start snowballing with that track goal.
Yeah, you just want to reel in the gold for your team. Once you have that track, you're going to enable the rotations of Obits you might be seeing, pump up to really good success. But for now, you know, the weakness of that bounty hunter does shine through this lane. Like, he shadow walks, he gets a Janata hit, and then he's pretty much done trading. So you're giving Masaros a pretty free ride to find his own farm, and Q is getting some steady levels. There's just nothing blocking this camp, so he's always going to find a neutral creep to arrow down, and that should lead Q to have a pretty good level spike for that 4-minute power rune fight.
Denied.
Mid lane, Fearless dropping very low on that Ember. Forced to walk away, and you can see Arbet on that Storm, John. He's been very aggressive throughout this laning stage. Currently leading by about 5 CS, as Zephyr is also going to rotate now. He was on the vision, but Fearless may still get caught out. Zephyr looking for that avalanche. Will not be able to get within range.
Middle tower is
But they are really making sure that Fearless does not have a good time in this mid lane.
And this movement is timely as well. 4-minute power runes coming up. Oh, nice arrow.
Arrow, yeah, it does land. Q landing one on Zephyr, and does manage to snag away the illusion rune. Make sure Arbet does not pick it up. Arbet tries to go for a vortex play, but could not finish off Q. That's going to be very important, as Arbet will have to commit, I believe, his 2nd or 3rd salve already on the Storm. He has been so aggressive, he's had to buy a lot of regen on this Storm script so far. Fearless looks like he's being a bit more, I want to say, conservative here with his own regen. He's just waiting for the bottle. He has bought it out. Now he's just going to wait for the courier to come out, but Q getting caught. Avalanche is not going to land, but the toss does. Still Arbet, not level 6, so he can't chase the Mirana down. But it seems as though all the action's happening in this mid lane.
Yeah, I love the emphasis from both teams. They know that these heroes, the Storm and the Ember, both need a good start to start ramping up. They still are keeping caps. You got March now.
They want to deny the bounty on the bottle there, but a nice arrow out from Q gives first run away to Fearless. That's even better. Full bottle and the bounty rune. Fearless, he desperately needed that catch-up gold right there, and he will get it.
It's a great pickup for Fearless. Does kind of help him recover from this lane. I think the biggest issue now for Fearless is this level deficit. So Abed's going to hit his 6 faster, Mike, and once you've got that ball lightning on Abed, he is going to have a window there where Fearless might not be comfy holding the lane. So you've got to watch that spike for Fearless, and Abed, with how he's been playing, you've mentioned aggression, I think he's going to reach that point, at least in this laning, much earlier on.
Oh, look at March. He's being such a pest as well on that bounty hunter, just around Fearless, soaking XP. Got to be slightly careful here, but Arbet hits level 6, comes in. He wants that Ember dead, but Arbet, underneath the tier 1 tower, is taking a lot of damage. He needs to run. Q might chase with the leaps that he does have left, and Arbet, a bit overly confident, does go down, and Fearless is going to remain alive as now the chains come out. They will not continue the chase onto Zephyr. But that kill on Arbet giving a lot of XP back the way of Fearless. That's going to be a great feeling as now they chase for that arcane rune, but March is racing for it and does manage to snag it away. He will reveal himself now onto Fearless, but he's got to be careful. They have a dust on Q. They have the stop out as well with the chains. March, you don't want to die for this. He is going to die for Boomble at least. Still Arbit going to sit back in. Fearless with the guard is surviving, but not long enough. He does eventually die. Zephyr able to take the kill with the avalanche toss. Again, this mid lane just so explosive.
Oh, it really is.
Radiant's bottom
all the
tower
heroes coming
is
down
under
here to
attack.
secure that start for both these Spirit Brothers. It's been freeing up the side lanes, and you can see both safe laners are enjoying that a lot. In Your Dreams, been allowed to free farm on his Morphling, currently 42 to 19, but Jackie as well on the Ricky's just absolutely dominating Cuckoo right now. Level 6 already on the Ricky. 40 to 22 as well on his farm. Compare that to Cuckoo stuck at level 4. And Jackie's already got a pretty good spike built up for himself. So you got to watch the pacing in the side lanes. With all the focus down mid, you might be allowing these cores to farm up a bit too well.
Bit of a rotation coming in towards that top lane. Zephyr is going to make his way up. They're looking at Jackie and they have Arbit around the area, but mid lane, March, he's been
turret
caught.
has been killed.
Chains and Arrow going to come out from Fearless and Q, and it's going to be another pickup for Q on that Mirana. And we always talk about this with Q, but he is a very dangerous Mirana player. He does tend to hit quite a lot of arrows. You've always got to be on the lookout as to where he is.
Yeah, it's really risky. They've got such a long reach here from MG Trust. It's the Sleight of Fist plus Chains into Arrow combo that opens up a lot of possibilities, and they might be able to kill the heroes, but he has 6 now.
Well, I bet he's going to get a haste rune, and Fearless again going to be denied another power rune. He has not been able to pick up one power rune this game, I don't believe. Yeah, no, he didn't pick up one.
Nope.
He's been starving for a full bottle this whole laning stage. Meanwhile, Arbed just going to go ahead and steal some stacks away now. Boombill going to try and interrupt. An arrow going to fly straight through. Arbed might keep chasing. He has plenty of mana for this, and a haste rune for that matter. So he does get one. He just wants to go back for the stacks, but now Fearless was coming in, but Zephyr will avalanche them and slow them down. I don't believe Fearless can really set up for a kill here, but he's going to try towards the north onto March. They get the chains, they have the dust. Jackie going to rotate, and he'll pick up his first kill of the game on the Ricky.
Yeah, just a lot of emphasis on finding these early kills. The panel did call this one out, right? Like, MG Trust have an aggressive lineup. They want to keep playing quick. They are finding that pace here. Lots of emphasis on that mid still. And I like the shake-up of playstyle here from Among Us as well. We're so used to seeing March build up stacks for himself. This time he's sniping those stacks, doing the right thing on that bounty hunter. You're still getting a lot of space out for your IYD Morphling. He is still pretty much top of last hits right now. Should get into a decent point with his own Morbid Mask timing in. It's about that time where we see these safe lane cores switch out to get a push.
Radiant's middle
In Your Dream
tower
works its
is
way
under
top.
attack.
They've got Arena ready in Cuckoo. They might look for a fight here for the push.
They're going to try. In Your Dream, top of the net worth board. Feeling very confident. Jackie will just keep eyes on what's going on and does steal some large creeps away from In Your Dream. In Your Dream got that one. The adaptive strike was out in time. Arena, Cuckoo just commits it. She wants to go for an easy kill. Arrow does fly in from the backside of Q. And Jackie gonna get started onto Cuckoo. It's not worth the Boombill kill to lose your off-lane Mars like that. I think Motivate, they'll be happy with that trade.
Never refuse school.
They definitely will be. They get a nice kill out onto Jackie once more. He's currently 2-0. He's off to a really good start, and his
Dire's
diffusal
middle
is going to be
tower
flying
is
out
under
soon. That's going to be
attack.
a big spike for Ricky. You're going to have to watch yourself there for Among Us. We talked about the Bounty Hunter perhaps being a counter to that.
Radiant's
The issue
bottom
is
tower
when you see
is under
March in a
attack.
bounty, it does take a while to hit the level 6 mark. So it's going to be a little bit longer until you start finding a way to keep track of that Ricky. You're just not going to get the levels fast enough.
A quick update on Fearless's bottle as well, John. He hasn't gotten a rune yet. Mars didn't install the bounty runes off him as well, so he couldn't get that either. But top lane, it looks like there's about to be a bit of a fight to break out.
Radiant's middle tower
Masteros has
is under
joined with his
attack.
team. Corrosive
Radiant
Haze will be there on Zephyr. They just want to keep tabs on this tiny. He does jump in now. Fear misses, but Vortex will be there.
Dire's top tower
Are they
is
going to
under
commit?
attack.
Fearless, he's around as well. But Among Us, they don't seem too interested in fighting. They don't have the arena up yet. So they will back off for a bit. They'll just accept the fact that they've forced Motivate to rotate. And while they have rotated top, John, March is getting level 6 down at the bot lane. He's just about there, so I think this is actually very worthwhile for Among Us to kind of force everyone top from Motivate and just give March the space he needs to have that track up.
Dire's
Yeah,
middle tower
it's
is
not
under
the
attack.
typical play we see. You know, March getting some level prioritization, but you do want to rush that 6. So it's going to be steady for March. Should have it by maybe about that 12-minute mark, if not the 12.5-minute mark. Jackie is here to start shoving the wave out though, and they could go for a push here Among Us. They don't particularly
Dire's
mount
top
these towers
tower is
fast, but
under
they should
attack.
have Arena backup. That
Dire's
should
structures
maybe
are
get
fortified.
MG Trust thinking twice about
Radiant's
this engagement.
bottom tower
Light
is
Shadow
under
top
attack.
lane. They're making a rush here. Fearless is underneath the sentry, but the Arena not going to catch him in.
Radiant's courier has
Fearless,
been
he
killed.
got a whiff of what was going on just at that last split second and backed off. The exact right time. Arrow is going to be there in your dream. He's not strength morphing yet. He's in trouble, and Masaros does manage to finish him off. Onto Zephyr now they go. Tiny gonna run away. MG
Dire's
Trust
middle
looks like they don't want to
tower is
risk
under attack.
anything. They're happy with the in your dream kill, and they will back off.
It's really not a clean fight for Among Us. The only silver lining is that Abed bailed out really early. So he goes down mid, he farms up. He's a few parts off this Orchid now, so our Storm is about to be a huge miss. Jump in long range, get the control off on, say, Fearless before the ults is up. That's going to cause issues for our Ember, so going to be really good for Abed if he keeps this free farm up. And overall, I think Among Us, despite being behind in kills, 3-7 right now with a 1k lead for MG Trust, they're not doing too bad. They're still meeting some key spikes coming in, and they're still maintaining control on the map. MG Trust has not been able to really take any objectives, so they're not able to deny any farm away from Among Us, and they are keeping up quite well on their main course at the very least.
I do agree with you on that, John, but look at Jackie. Look at his itemization right now. He's just a recipe away from having the Diffusal Blade. And we all know what happens when a Riki gets the Diffusal Blade, John. These poor supports on Among Us, they're not going to be very happy.
They're going to be ripped apart, especially Zephyr. I think I think March is going to be a bit more cautious unless he walks into a sentry, but Zephyr is the most vulnerable one, and this is not the hero you want dead. He's still saving up for his blink. He's a bit careful.
Zephyr is by himself. Fearless is going to rotate. Jackie also there with the smoke screen. Chains around. Zephyr, there's no real way out of this one. That is going to be a nice kill there for our Riki, and he is just about there for the recipe now. So
Dire's
Diffusal
middle
Blade
tower
will be
is
up
under
for the
attack.
next team fight. Again, I think that's going to be a massive problem for everyone on Among Us, as they really don't like being purged in a smoke screen.
Where's the party?
Yeah, it's all down to positioning out for Among Us. Like, you're going to have this spike as well for Abed because his Orchid's flying out, so it's the Orchid, Storm versus the Diffusal Riki. It depends on who jumps who first, and I think we should expect Abed to maybe start playing faster
Radiant's
to match
bottom
that
tower
Riki,
is
but
under attack.
they do have level 7 as well in March, so it's perhaps time to start sniping with that track and with the Orchid, and of course for a Riki as well, you want
Radiant's
Jackie to
bottom
start
tower
finding some
is
heroes to
under attack.
isolate and keep stuck in that smoke screen.
Here we go. They're grouping up top lane in your dream. Cuckoo and March just to the south of that top lane. They know Jackie's there. They should have seen the Diffusal Blade now, so they know what they're fighting into, and they're bringing up even more heroes. Arbit with the smoke is also around that top lane. Who are they going to spot out though? Moonlight Shadow is there. They're not going to find
Dire's
anyone up
top tower
top and
is under
motivate. They're
attack.
rushing into the mid lane now. They might just spot out Zephyr on this Tiny.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Looks like the top tower taken. Arbet mid lane does zip in, silence out onto our Ember, but they're not going to continue chasing. A bit of a warning shot there from Arbet. Both teams seem to be paying a lot of respect to each other in this game number one, as yesterday's series it was so close it could go either way, but bot lane March, he's been caught out by that smoke screen and corrosive haze now, and Masaros will happily
Radiant's
take the kill on
bottom
the
tower
Slaughter.
is under attack.
It's going to allow him to get closer to his blink tag.
Yeah, you're still meeting some key spikes. MG Trust, the one thing they need to get done now is to even out map control. You can see
Radiant
Among Us, they were
structures
shoving in the
are
top lane. They've still got Cuckoo around there. And Abed, who has revealed his Orchid, but hasn't really used it in a meaningful way. So they're
Radiant's
still looking for that
bottom tower is
opportunity.
under
Perhaps
attack.
once you have some additional follow-up, say
Dire are
you
scattered.
use your Blink on Cuckoo, you can start playing a bit more forward, but that will allow MG Trust to just take this spot tier 1. So they eventually trade tier
Radiant's
1s
bottom
evenly,
tower has
and you don't
fallen.
see as much progress
Dire's top
for
tower
Among Us.
is under
But
attack.
yeah, it's a farming game. IYD is still farming up. His Manta style is almost done, and that should give him some opportunities to at least defend himself as
Dire's
well.
middle
Maybe
tower
purge himself
is under
out
attack.
of chains. Won't help with the smoke screen though, but you would hope that In Your Dream is cautious enough to not really want to force the fight with the Riki yet.
With his slow game as well, John, it seems as... Oh, actually, bot lane, Jackie. Being
Radiant
stalked
are
by March, but
scanning.
neither of them know that they're there. Everyone's looking around for this Riki. They know he's
Dire's
here
turret
somewhere,
has been
and
killed.
March will get his courier. Zephyr dusting up, does miss. Jackie has a sentry there, and March will realize it now as the creeps are following him, but they'll see Abed, who also pops the dust. Jackie is really playing with fire. He is going to go in onto Abed. He's going to give it a shot. The silence is there in time, and Abed is going to die to Fearless. He got the slide of fist just in the nick of time. Trying to chase down In Your Dream, but he will waveform away. Very spicy plays down this bot lane.
Yeah, it's a strange trade. But killing Abed's big, but you also lost an Alacrity Blade, so your Rashi is delayed for 2 minutes, although they're not done.
In Your Dream's gonna rush in, get the chains off onto Fearless. Avalanche Toss gonna be enough, but Masteros is gone onto Zephyr. Arrow is gonna miss. Zephyr is still gonna die, however. Definitely a very good trade for Among Us so far. Jackie, however, going for more. In Your Dream looking to turn back around with that Ember Morph. These Macerots. They also see Jackie with all these traps. Arena is going to be there. Cuckoo setting up, and now Ahmed zipping right into that Riki. Does get the kill onto Q now. Mirana in trouble, and In Your Dream does burst her down. Among Us pushing it back their way. Unwilling to back down from Motivate. Trust going for more now. Boom Bill caught out, and this is one thing you have to be very worried about if you're Motivate. But Masteros is going to jump in with a bash to the deeps and a stun out. Abed's out of mana, and Masteros will actually trade. I didn't think he'd get away with that, but he does. And what I was about to point out, John, is you don't want to give too many track kills away to Among Us, as the gold is going to skyrocket if they get too many of those. But they've lost Abed again on the Storm, and or Motivate, they may not be too upset about that.
No, you're evening it out, so at the least that's not quite a draw, but salvage. It's not as bad as it could have been. And Jackie,
Mid lane, Jackie, he's found an easy target. Zephyr, he knows he can't get away. It's the classic, John. You're playing against the core Riki. You see that smoke screen and you're suddenly diffused. Forget about it. Just stand there and accept the fact that you're dead.
yeah, it's he is saving up for the 4 staff now, Zephyr. So he's got the right ID in hand. It's just it's gonna take a little bit more farm, and they're gonna set up for that mid-tier
Jackie's
1.
underneath the sentry. Be careful. Among Us, just trying to bait him forward. I love these plays here from this Radiant side. Zip! Using In Your Dream, trying to invite them to go after their Morphling. Masteros, they will jump in now. Jackie with the smoke screen, but the Manta is going to be there. Purging off the Diffusal Blade. Q, Arrow is going to land on Savage, but now the arena comes down. Cuckoo blocks them off, but Fearless is there. They will kill off the bounty. Meanwhile, Masteros jumping in, but he does not catch anyone with the stun. But they want to go after this tier 1 mid tower. Among Us, I believe they still can fight back. Abed is full mana right now. He's just going around and getting bounty runes for the team. And it looks like they're going to choose not to fight. They're going to let the tier 1 mid tower go down.
It's the safe bet. It's just a bit less good without your backyard kill.
Zephyr, Avalanche Toss, a great setup. Boombill's gonna go, but Masteros, he started again. They're trying to go into In Your Dream, but he manses. Now, Abed back onto the Riki. Jackie, he's gonna get bursted down with the Orchid. Zephyr, he does eventually die, but at what cost for Motivate? They're just chasing down this Lana now. In fact, never mind, they're going to Q instead. Q continented up, but Fearless trying to hold them back. An arrow to fly through. And Fearless, he's in a bit of a tough position here. The spear's gonna come out. They do have enough damage. They will get a big Ember kill.
A soldier.
Great team fight there for Among Us.
The Orchid of Abed's really paying off. He's just targeting Jackie every single time, preventing that Riki from
Radiant's
getting
bottom
anything done.
tower is
And I
under
suppose
attack.
that's one way to handle
Dire's middle
the
tower is
silence
under
coming in. You
attack.
just Orchid up the Riki when you know he's there. Without the Manta up on Jackie, he's just forced to sit and kind of take it. So you got to get this Manta up on your Riki quick for MG Trust. Abed is starting to pick up pace. He's already got his Kaya as well to boost his damage output, going straight into that Bloodstone. And this is when those kills coming out from your track starts to pile up. March already has a 4-stab. So if you want to catch the Bounty Hunter out, it's going to be tough. And in fact, the Bounty Hunter's around for anyone under smoke screen. You've already got the counter to that. So heads up play for March, and with that spike, they do smoke up once more in Among Us.
I don't blame them. I mean, they've got the track. They know they can snowball. They're just going to keep it going. Top lane, looks like they have spotted out Fearless. In your dream, gonna go in with the chains. It may be a little bit early, but no, Cuckoo's gonna be there with the spear. It is not gonna land. However, Abed zipping in the right position. They knew where Fearless was going, but now Masteros is in with a double stun, holding them down. They'll let Abed go. They'll go after March instead. Nice turnaround play from Motivate Trust. Not allowing Fearless to just die for free. Fearless in the end does end up surviving.
Yeah, they do manage to get the right play though. It's that 4-stab from March, and I think you're gonna start seeing that with this item pickup in Bounty Hunter. March is in a position where he can sacrifice himself, save his own cores, and he will always take that trade. So MG Trust has to be aware of the positioning of March. I think they were doing the right thing earlier on by bullying him and keeping him down. Now they've got to keep that investment in the sentries, in the dust, to ensure they know where the Bounty Hunter is and prevent him from getting any sort of saving play out here.
There's going to be a smoke up from Motivate now. They want to try and rotate into that Radiant Triangle, but the smoke going to be broken before the Moonlight Shadow comes in.
Dire's middle
In your
tower
dream,
is under
confident he'll
attack.
be okay. He kept farming for a bit, but eventually will waveform out. Into the mid lane though, March has been caught and is going to get dusted and get killed. It's not quite the kill they wanted, but they'll have to take it, and maybe they can make a Roshan play out of this.
Yeah, and they can still melt Roche with Corrosive Haze, so this is relatively quick. Among Us does have options to go in though. They've got Blinks, they've got the Zip, they are on the opposite side of the map, and they might be a bit too slow in this one.
Oh, they might make it. I mean, Abed can zip in, but he's going to hurry up here. Roshan is getting very, very low. They don't have time to wait. Marina is 925. Bumpy Aegis is already down, and Jackie does get it still Fearless. He's going to die to In Your Dream. They have the silence out onto Jackie with the Vortex, but it's not going to be enough. They'll turn back around now. In Your Dream, the one in trouble with that Spirit Vessel. He's just melting. Fearless fall back as well. They'll get In Your Dream onto Zephyr. The Tiny's going to die. And this Roshan fight does not work out for Among Us. The only thing they force out is a death and a buyback on Fearless, but that is it.
Yeah, in the end, Fearless still gets money over that. Like, he spends for the buyback, he still gets 198 from that fight recap, so he's in a very good spot with that kind of exchange. They've got a second life on Jackie. He's got his Manta style up on the Riki, so he doesn't have to worry about that Orchid. And Among Us, you know, if they wanted to fight, they needed to move earlier. I think it was a valiant attempt. The arena wasn't quite on point as well. You had your Riki outside, so Jackie could still get the work done. You've got to be a bit careful about initiating like that. There is some pretty good control here from MG Trust to follow in. Not a big lead though.
Radiant's
Still just
bottom
2k on
tower
top,
is
so
under
there's
attack.
still a lot of opportunities for Among Us to grow.
Well, the thing is, John, it's not a big lead at all for Motivate, but that's against the Bounty Hunter, right? But we always make the comparison with a Bounty and, say, the Alchemist. You never want to be behind in net worth when you have this hero, because if you're not ahead in net worth, you're just not going to be winning the game. In fact, mid lane, Abed.
Spoil that.
Oh boy, gets caught out by Q. That clumsy net into the arrow is quite a painful combination. Does get taken out, and that's one thing with
Radiant's
Abed, he
middle
can't
tower is
afford
under
to happen.
attack.
You can't die like that. Not to the support Mirana.
No, and Abed,
Radiant's
we
structures
mentioned his build-up.
are
He went
fortified.
straight for the Orchid. He's still rushing out that
Radiant's
Bloodstone. I
middle
believe he
tower
does
is
have the
under
gold.
attack.
That leaves him with 0 defensive options. No Yules, no BKB. So any form of control coming out from MG Trust is always going to lock him in.
Radiant's bottom tower
He's got to be
is
a bit
under
cautious
attack.
about how far forward he is. Very easy to punch that storm. It's also funny to note, you talked about clumsy net. Abed's been playing with his own, and that's just a double-edged sword in the
Radiant's
storm.
bottom
So
tower has fallen.
you really got to be cautious with that item. I think it's much better on Q on that pause 4, and Abed's going to be... I mean, he's trying to buy space out here, right? It's Abed Storm. Just trying to get some space for In Your Dream to keep his farm game up. He needs to weigh these decisions carefully, as once you start dropping
Dire's
on that
turret
storm,
has been
it gets a
killed.
bit hard to get some space out later on.
Mid lane Cuckoo. Can't walk out of that tree line right now.
Dire's
Mastros is
turret
standing on the
has
other
been
side.
killed.
March taking care of
Radiant are
couriers,
scanning.
just taking them out as he does. Cuckoo. He's gonna run away now. He's had enough. They do scan out Jackie. Just farming up. I want to go back to In Your Dream for a second, John, on that Morphling. I do like his itemization choices after the Eye of Skadi pickup. I do believe he is going to need that BKB. I mean, the Manta isn't proving to be enough to avoid all these silences, all this control, and as well as that, the Spirit Vessel from Q has been making his life very hard. So I think the BKB is going to be very worthwhile this game. But as I say that, they jump in. Mastros is there with a stun on Arena. It's going to be dropped into a nice spear round, but the stop is there. To stop the damage, Jackie does die. That'll be one life. Mastros going back in after In Your Dream, but the silence is there from Arbit. Straight onto the Ricky. Mastros slow, Jackie even lower. He's trying to run, but he cannot. Great turnaround there from Cuckoo and Arbit. He managed to save their position 1 Morphling. And that is the key to victory here for Among Us. They cannot allow In Your Dream to die.
Yeah, they're doing a good job about keeping that Morphling up. Jackie was a bit greedy with his smoke screen usage there. It just took way too long hoping for that chain stun. Now they're going to have to defend it 1 hero down.
Oh, Fearless. Oh, he's been Yulesed up, but the spear is going to be way too slow. Now the arrow is going to be out onto Cuckoo. Still there for a nice toss back on that Mirana. Do they have damage? Masteros, a 3-man stun, but they have still caught out Q. It's going to be a pulse 3 for a pulse 4 trade. Still better for Motivate here as Fearless misses the chains. It's a bit too early for those, but they'll be satisfied with holding on to that tier 1 mid tower as well as getting that pulse 3 Mars kill. Also going to buy time for Jackie to be back up. Just get back to work on that Ricky. Looks like Jackie's even farming up his own BKB, so he's just getting a bit annoyed now with the silences out from Arbed. And he's also running into the same issue where the Manta is not enough this game.
Yeah, it's definitely not for both courts. They've got to worry about the control. Even Fearless now has his BKB.
Poor Zephyr. He has a Ghost Scepter, but Masteros is going to be there. How demoralizing. Masteros always on point, 6, 0, and 8 on this slaughter so far. Very, very strong performance from him. And all mid lane, Arbed chained up. The stomp is also going to connect, but I don't think they'll have the damage unless the arrow does come in, and Fearless will take the kill. And Q, he has been haunting Arbed this game.
Oh, he has been on point. Just the right target in mind as well. Keeping that storm down means that there's a lot more pressure on In Your Dream to really farm up, to really get the carry gameplay out on this Morph. And we were talking about BKBs. I want to point out here, Mike, Masaros has his BKB, and Fearless already had his BKB. So you've got options now to keep playing these. You can like Shadow Up and Chase.
Yeah. Dream, again, doesn't want to be caught out like this, but they do run past the sentry ward there, so they have been just scouted out, just barely.
Dire are
Among Us
scanning.
will just safely back off. March, however, may not be so safe as he has been dusted by Fearless. Fearless will go back to the bounty rune first, and then he'll go after this bounty hunter. I mean, Fearless is 7 kill of the game, and it's also getting to the point where Fearless is going to get quite dangerous, John. He's working towards that Ags. He is still about 2.5k off. Once the Ags is up, it's going to be that much harder to control this Ember Spirit.
Dire's top
Definitely will
tower
be.
is
Fearless is
under
already
attack.
all over this map. Adding to that mobility is going to make it a lot harder for anyone to feel safe. And you gotta love the discipline from both sides. You talked about those sentries a while ago. even MG Trust has a ton of sentries, although.
Q set up is going to be there on Q. They are on the high ground if they want to help. Q does buy time with the Glimmer Cape and the Yules. He's actually going to leap out of there, but Zephyr jumps up. Avalanche Toss still not going to be enough. Q will leave, and now Masros, he's looking to turn around. They will not in the end. They will just hold the triangle as In Your Dream is playing with fire. He forms in, but Masros does not connect the stun. Chains will be there, but it is mad to dodge off. Trust might be about that time to leave. They do it. March getting cracked out on field. Oh, Masros jumps in for a stun. The BKB's there on Jackie now. You've got to be wary of this. 10-second charge. March. He's been caught. He is going to die. Arbet going to zip in onto Fearless, but doesn't have a good angle. Zephyr, meanwhile, does kill off Masseros. A great kill there by our Tiny. Still a good trade for Among Us.
Yep, they win out just a bit. They dragged the lead back to just a steady 1K. Have to say,
Dire's
MG
top
Trust
tower is
have been
under
really
attack.
cautious with their BKB charges, Mike. Matsuros dies with his still stuck at 10. Fearless has been very disciplined to hold his at 10 as well. So if they perhaps we could have seen more aggression. They were diving tier 2s though. So it was always a bit dicey, but you can see how confident they feel going that far. I mean, they understand they need that aggression. They got the DD and they Moonlight Shadow again.
It's that level 20 mark as well for the Riki, John. So you get the plus 475 Blink Strike cast range, and that's when this Riki becomes completely broken, as you can just jump in onto Arbet like that, and there's nothing he can do about it. Jackie, he popped the BKB, so he's just going to keep going now. Zephyr trying to TP, but the stop will be there in time, and that is going to mean this Tiny is just going to die.
On delivery.
It's the 3 now for Jackie. Back into that mid lane. It looks like they do want to start trying to work on that tier 2 mid tower.
Radiant's middle tower is
And
under
that is
attack.
one of the big weaknesses of the Motivate Trust draft, is they don't take towers very quick. But we are reaching that stage of the game where you've got so much damage, it doesn't really matter if you have the heroes for it or
Radiant's
not.
middle tower is under
Nah,
attack.
it still really melts. The DD was helping, but
Radiant's
even Boom
middle
Melt
tower
is slapping
has
away
fallen.
with Stapler is really a huge help. And they're going to set eyes to the high ground. A bit risky. They don't have an option for Roche. There are still the top lane to play with, and they are pinging out that tier 1, so perhaps clearing out another lane first before looking up. This will set Among Us in a very awkward spot. You know, their lineup is just not getting the running start they'd want. They finally have that BKB on In Your Dream, so he is a little bit
top
more durable in the
tower is
front,
under
but the
attack.
Roche is about to respawn.
And it is. Arbet, how's the bomb going? Still working towards that BKB. March is looking for couriers, so that's going to cost him his life. This
Radiant's
is
top
not
tower
something
has
you
fallen.
particularly want to see at this stage of the game anymore, these courier snipes. It doesn't... I mean, it's influential for sure, but only if there's a big item on them. Still Roshan pit. They do jump in Arbet with the Vortex, and now Cuckoo. He's been silenced by the smoke screen, but still gets the arena off. Just in the nick of time, gets the order time, so Boombo is going to drop. But Jackie almost killing off Arbet, trying to chase him down, but he is out of vision now. Back into the mid-river, Zephyr will drop. So both supports dying. Cuckoo still being chased there by Q. They are going to ignore him. They are going to go back for the Roshan. And without Zephyr around on the Tiny, it should be a much easier time
Radiant are scanning.
for this Roche to go down.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the potential to zip in with Abed, but this Roche just falls so quick when you have a Slaughter.
Fearless.
And
He knows Cuckoo's there somewhere. Oh, he gets the slide. Can he get the chains in time? No. Unlucky. He still will get the Roshan.
To the dial.
yeah, it's a big boon for MG Trust. 2 lives on Jackie. They've got the cheese to give out the field as well. You know, I'm looking right now on Among Us Abed. You know, he went to that Bloodstone. He's down to 9 targets in March again.
He's getting bounty runes, Johnny. He's doing his job. He's doing the best he can, but
A soldier's fortune.
again, I question how effective it is at this point. Like, bounty runes are very valuable, for sure. Is it worth your life at the risk of a high ground attempt? Probably not. But Arbet zipping in, bot lane, trying to go onto Fearless. Yules is there to purge off the silence, and BKB will be popped, so he does not get speared up. Q, arrow is going to be avoided there by Cuckoo. So Arbet, he will get the BKB forced out by Fearless. That's going to be something.
Yep, I'd say that's a pretty nice win for Abed. And he's still in an awkward spot.
Here, trying to get an arrow angle, does get one, but the 4-star is going to save the stomp. Zephyr saving the day on that Tiny. He's still probably going to die unless In Your Dream can't save him. He does waveform in, trying to go for the fight, but here comes Jackie. On Zephyr does kill one off, still Fearless, has died. In Your Dream, looking good here, does get a double. Onto Boombill, he'll go on to Jackie now. The Ricky copying a lot of damage. Masteros meanwhile trying to BKB TPing up, but In Your Dream, he has the damage output. He'll get a triple. Now Ahmed onto Jackie, but the Blink Strike away will be there in time. Q going back in for an arrow that may cost him. Cuckoo, he does get the Yules off. The spear will not connect. Q, he has the Aeon Disc. He's going to try for the TP, but the stuns are going to be there, and Q does die to Ahmed. That is a big wipe for Among Us. 4 heroes going down and Motivate Trust at the cost of nothing for Among
Radiant's
Us.
middle tower
A
is under
very,
attack.
very good trade.
Oh, definitely is. It drags the lead down, so MG Trust are just constantly on the same line as Among Us. You are starting to see the potency of Morphling, right? It scales a little bit better into late. Actually, I'd say a lot better into late compared to the Ricky. You're going to need a lot more items on Jackie to come in. The initiation of MG Trust needs to be in line, and we're seeing the effects of those 4-staffs. Just the 4-staff spam from Among Us causing issues here for MG
Dire's
Trust.
middle tower
Their
is
spells
under
are a little
attack.
bit harder to land, and we talked about that build up for In Your Dream. The BKB's done, the butterfly's done as well. So he's evading some of the right-click damage coming through, and he is just a beast now in this Morphling. Level 25 spike
Dire's
as well, 2
middle tower
waveform
is
charges.
under attack.
They've got so much mobility in this
Dire's
Morphling. You
structures
can
are
absolutely
fortified.
focus on that back line and force an unfavorable fight from MG Trust.
Dire's
Yeah, this has
middle
become
tower
very
has
problematic now for Motivate Trust. Even if they do still have the slight net worth lead, they've lost their momentum, and like you said, these power spikes now for Among Us are going to be huge in the late game. Of course, you've also got to look out for Arbed, John. He's still level 21, but he almost has that BKB up, and we all know what happens once a Storm gets level 25. It kind of becomes impossible to push into it. And Arbed, of course, will probably work towards that Aghanim Scepter build-up after this BKB. But for now, we have a big smoke up. In the river, Masteros looking to engage, does spawn out Cuckoo, doesn't make the jump yet. He's been very patient, and it will cost it. Like, I'm not sure if that was just the fog of war for Masteros, not being able to actually see the Cuckoo Mars. It did look like Masteros was just being patient, trying to look for a better target. Top lane, they're trying to Zephyr. Zephyr does get chained up. He'll
Dire's
drop.
top tower is under
Nullify
attack.
now up on Jackie as well, so no more Ghost Scepters for Zephyr to be able to survive through these. That's all they get though, a tiny kill.
It could have been a lot better. The nighttime vision's really causing some issues here for MG Trust. They do manage to wrangle control in that triangle, but you see Among Us is maintaining some vision control as well on the opposing Dire triangle. So it's a back and forth. They're farming up tier 4 items. That's a huge one for Abed, just having Spell Prison boosts his damage up, boosts his presence as well. And
Dire's
MG
bottom
Trust,
tower
I mean,
is under
it's
attack.
19 to 33. That's the
Dire's
crazy part,
turret
right?
has
19
been
to 33, a 3k lead. Only a 3k lead with that much kills. It's not quite their game. Among Us are still
Lane.
keeping them in check.
But this, John, Among Us, they're being very patient, trying to go onto Fearless, but no, the spear misses. They still got the Hex out in time with that Princess Knife. Arena dropped as well, but Masteros is going to come in. They'll go for the fight. Meanwhile, Arbed rushing onto Doombell, does kill him off, and now In Your Dream is going to take down the Aegis on Jackie. Onto Masteros. In Your Dream, he's doing so much damage. He will just right-click Masteros down. The arrow that is out with the smoke screen. In Your Dream is in trouble. Falling low. He's going to try and fight, but he cannot. Jackie will be able to take the kill on the Ricky. 3 down for Among Us, 2 down for
Radiant's
Motivate.
top tower is under attack.
MG Trust, they're going to try for that top tier 2 tower.
Never refuse good.
Pretty much all they can aim for at the moment.
Yeah, it's not really a quick take as well when it's just Jackie. They need a little bit more alone.
March. Just running around, doing March things, looking for couriers. He's just going to avoid any kind of engagement right now. Well, he's being a very good support, taking care of those bounties. This bottom lane, they're having a gander here, trying to find Arbed. And the real scary point for Motivate, John, is when Arbed does have that Ags up. With a Spell Prism on top, it's going to be a very painful experience.
It's going to be a very different game once you've got that in Abed. He's been farming very well, you know, shoving out the waves as he can, pulling out some camps while he can. Just about 2,100 gold, roughly. Yeah, now 2,100 gold off. So once you've got
Radiant's
that,
top
you're going to be in a
tower is
really good
under
point
attack.
as the Storm. You're going to be able to
Radiant structures
really drag
are fortified.
control out, and that's always been a hurting point for MG Trust. Their control is just not as clean. And
Yeah, both Spirit Brothers getting a Spell Prism. I mean, that's
why not?
balance, John. That is balance at its finest.
yeah, definitely 50-50 there still. You're also going to have a spike out here for Fearless. So he's going into that site of Vice. You're going to have that Hex on hand as well for your Ember. And that's going to be pretty big. I think in terms of the cores fighting up against each other, Jackie's Nullifier has fixed his issues with the Force Staffs as well. He will need that MKB, but maybe
Take us.
The huge smoke, John. He always sees Arbit. That's a massive target. Arbit does have the BKB, but he doesn't get it off in time. He does get force fast, though. He will survive, but it looks like Cuckoo will die instead. Onto March, that bounty hunter not going to last long. Into Zephyr. He's a bit of a sitting duck right now. He's been netted up. Zephyr trying to survive the best he can, but he cannot. 3 down, no buybacks on all 3 of those heroes. And Arbit, he's going to be on dream skipping duty now.
It's the best he can do, right? He dodges the gank.
Radiant are
The Force
scanning.
Staff saves are coming into play again. A bit greedy with the Nullifier use there on a Ricky, just trying to hold out and using it on someone else. Cost him the Storm Kill. That would have been really good, but they still find some nice pickups. That's going to give them some time
Radiant's
to get a push,
top
maybe
tower
clear
is
out that
under
top
attack.
lane, take out the tier 2, and just kind of wait out. I think they're going to need the next
Radiant's
Roach
top
before they
tower
feel
has
confident
fallen.
in the high ground. They could take their chances, but it's not going to be very clean. They're going to have to line their shots well here.
Well, they're going to try for the tier 3, but
Radiant's top tower
Roshan
is under
instant
attack.
respawn.
Wow.
Yeah, Roshan literally instant respawn. Of course, neither team will know yet, but they have couriers going out to them. They are going to be able to take the
Radiant's
tier 3
top
tower,
tower has
and now the
fallen.
courier of Jackie rushing through the Roshan. We'll see it. MG Trust, I don't know if they've
Dire's
kind
bottom
of
tower
missed
is
their
under
timing,
attack.
because now everyone on Among Us are up. But there is still a nice little damage spike here for Jackie. He does have the MKB up, but he's TP'd down to the bot lane. So he's going to clear out this wave, and this is going to give a chance to Among Us to go for that Roshan play while Jackie's not around, if they realize it's there. But they've smoked up. Roshan has the Ags upgrade, by the way, John. Arbed would love that right now. Green smoke broken. He's going to morph into Fearless as the Ember. Arbed going to zip in now. Running down. Oh, the smoke screen is for Arbed. He gets shaken out. He's bursted. Arena has been dropped by Kutu. It has not caught anyone. Still, they will kill off Masros, but Zephyr's dead. Jackie looking for a way back to this team fight. Going for that arcane room with Fearless. He'll be the one to take it. Into the arrow. Onto Kutu, and Kutu's going to die. Now March, underneath the sentry ward, also going to go down. A triple kill out for Jackie. He is now godlike. And that Roshan belongs to Motivate Trust.
That's just like Among Us. They just didn't guess right. They didn't think Roach would be up. They don't check the pit. They tried to force the fight. And this time Jackie was not greedy. He drops all his spells. They get the control off. And Abed just absolutely melted. Like, he just has no stats to stand up against that. Aegis, Cheese, and the Ags upgrade going away from MG Trust. It'll be a massive win for them. I wonder who they give the Ags upgrade to. Right, it is on Q right now. So you're going to have the extra damage coming out through Starstorm unless he passes it on.
It's got to be the Masro. Yeah, it's the Masro.
Yeah, 100%. There you go.
I mean, and that's the thing for Arbit as well, right? I think you have to pay a bit more respect to Masros on the Slaughter. Because he's done that multiple times this game, Masros, where he does catch out Arbit before he can BKB. And if you get stunned before the BKB comes out, it seems as though Jackie will just have way more than enough damage to burst you down. That last team fight, he zipped in without popping the BKB and just got stunned instantly.
No, he was the one playing greedy that time. Talk about Jackie being greedy with his spell use. You can't afford to be like that when the game's on edge, and now you have a massive lead. for MG Trust. 22 to 42, 19k up. Among Us does have really good high ground defense. The Ags for Abed is still just 600 gold off. So if they actually get patient enough, find that in the next defense fight, the Vortex will still play a big part. I think they've got to be a bit patient on Among Us. Get Abed the farm he needs. With that zip, he's just about 200 gold off. So it is going to be online. The question is whether or not Among Us is going to give him that time. It looks like they have no choice. The shove out is just too consistent from Abed. It is a Storm at 25. You mentioned it, but that talent is just obnoxious. And that does keep MG Trust at bay for now. So you've got the Vortex flying in, the AoE Vortex, mini black hole ready to go with that Spell Prism. We'll see if Abed can get the initiation he wants.
John, that blink range on Jackie with the blink strike, it just got bigger because Boombill has a telescope.
Oh,
so yeah, I mean he's going to be blinking from I don't even know how much range. It's already 1,375 range without the telescope. So we add on the telescope and it's a plus 125. So you're not really safe no matter where you go. And speaking of Jackie, John, he's TP'd down to the bot lane. He's going to have a look for Zephyr, but Zephyr does wisely TP away and is going to be able to make it up.
Yeah, I'm actually rather curious about Jackie's item choice here now. Like, he's got the flicker for the purge off. I'm just wondering, was there nothing else? No, that's done.
Oh, Abed. Matches Fearless does have the eggs up now. So you've got to be worried about that AoE Vortex out from Abed. It is going to be very, very dangerous in a team fight. Especially if Zephyr and Cuckoo can jump on top of that Vortex and just throw every spell they have on everyone. Of course, even in your dream, will be quite dangerous in that scenario. Both teams, though, are being extremely patient. And these game ones of a grand final, they are also extremely important, right? Because you tend to find the team that gets the momentum going in that game one tends to feel pretty good in the games following after it.
Definitely, it's a huge morale
Radiant's top
boost.
barracks are under
Again,
attack.
both teams are right on the edge. They've been evenly matched. You get that first game win, you're going to be confident going into the
Radiant's
rest of the
bottom
series.
tower is under
And
attack.
speaking of confidence, Jackie's just starting on that high ground, shoving out the creep wave. No one man is down.
He's got his BKB in his backpack, John. He's got to be careful. I mean, he does have the Aegis, but you don't want to throw it away for nothing. Basros going to front line.
What? Abed, why?
He went on the smoke screen, Abed! Oh, he didn't realize, Jackie, he had the level 25 talent. He had the plus 125 smoke screen AoE. He didn't see it.
He has no flyback as well, Mike.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Oh, no. That's not the way you want to lose game one. Oh, boy, that one's going to hurt. Jackie now, he smells victory. He's jumping in after Cuckoo. Cuckoo BKB's up. They do blow him up once. They got the
Radiant's middle
Aegis.
barracks are under
Great
attack.
start.
Radiant's middle barracks
Even without their
has fallen.
storm, they might be able to turn and
Radiant
defend this.
structures are fortified.
They do lose their melee barracks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Masteros, he's onto the bot lane of tier 3s. They want at least 2 racks, but they do have the opportunity to go for the third as well, because they still have 50 seconds with that Arbit. Still, a great toss back out from Zephyr. They're going to try and burst out Masteros, and they do get away with it. Now Jackie, he can't really man fight in your dream, or maybe he can. Fearless is in on the Ember with the size of Mindcell. He does hex him up, and now the Revenant's coming out. Fearless just blows up everyone. No buyback on March
Radiant's
or
bottom tower
Zephyr.
is under attack.
It is 2
Radiant's
versus
bottom
4.
tower
I'll make
is
that
fallen.
5. Masteros, he's
Radiant's
back.
bottom barracks are under attack.
He did buy back, so he's going to be a bit
Radiant's
cautious here on this
bottom tower
Slardar.
is fallen.
But again,
Radiant's
John,
bottom
all
tower
lanes are open.
is
They can
fallen.
go for the Megas.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
This is...
Radiant's
You're
middle
going to have
barracks is
Abed
fallen.
up at least, but they're 3 against 5. This is not a very easy fight. They don't have arena.
Radiant's
I'm
top
cautious
barracks
with how
are
they
under
jump in
attack.
here.
Oh boy. The back of one little mistake. Are they really going to get Megan here? It looks like they are.
Radiant's
Motivate.
top barracks.
They get the
Radiant's
Megas.
top
They're going to
barracks
back
is
off.
fallen.
Arbed
The
is going to
dive
zip. Oh, the hex is out. Fearless. He's caught Arbed again with the hex. That has to be it. You have to call it after that, John. Up against Megas without your storm.
Fortune.
Fearless on the Ember. With the Scythe of Vice. Quick reactions out. Oh, sometimes you've got to preemptively BKB. He didn't see them because the smoke was there as well from MG Trust. Can they defend? Cuckoo, he's going to drop the arena onto Q, but Mazroth is there on the Slardar. He does have buybacks. Cuckoo can make his way back into this team fight. In your dream, he's going to try and hold on, but Jackie, he's jumped in now. Cuckoo is going to commit the buyback. Fearless remnanting in as well. He's looking for a way back out, but he'll jump onto Mark. Meanwhile, in your dream, you'll stop into the arrow and the stun under the smoke screen. He's trying to fight back up against Masaroff, but he is fully strength locked right now. He has no damage. He needs to run. He will wave form away, but can he make it out? The side device again for Fearless. The old splitter. He dies mid-air.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Have they called it? I believe they must have.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
There you go.
Victory.
Oh, what a game one out from Motivate Trust. Among Us. I mean, we can't lie, John. Mistakes were made from multiple people. And I believe it wasn't looking good for them anyway, but they definitely had a chance